A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Morning Brief right here on Channels Television. I'm Jeffrey Uzama.
And I'm Kayode Okikulu. The Friday edition is now live. We're here in Lagos, actually, Nigeria's commercial capital. The thing about Lagos on Fridays is that traffic is usually reduced. So if you're in Lagos, don't worry. There should be less traffic, except you're applying that Ogudu route where that Ogudu Ifako bridge is still being fixed. That's one portion of it. So yet again, another travel advisory. But there's a big advisory coming from the Chief of Defense Staff.
I saw it yesterday.
It's not a travel advisory. It is more of a self-defense advisory.
Or a security safety advisory, if you will.
Call it that. So the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is advising all Nigerians, or Nigerians, as the case may be, to learn combat skills to protect themselves in the face of danger. He likened the acquisition of martial arts like karate, taekwondo, and judo to driving, swimming, and other survival skills. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief of Defense Staff.
So that's what the NYC is supposed to do. And, you know, the NYC have been watered down to 3 weeks. I think it's important that we're able to give every Nigerian one security awareness at whatever level. Self-defense is very important. Unarmed combat, swimming, driving, these are critical aspects for human endeavor. Those are things we should never take for granted because it prepares you for the future. The world we are in now is dangerous. We have individuals that don't mean people well. They kill for whatever reason, and it is not only in Nigeria. I'm sure you know, even abroad, you see somebody will take a weapon, go to a school, and open fire on everybody. So there's a lot of psychological things. People, because again...
So you encourage self-defense?
No, self-defense, everybody is supposed to be ready to protect himself as an individual. So if it means you should take judo lessons, take karate lessons, make sure that you are physically fit to be able to withstand this, and don't want to take things...
So how do you withstand bullets?
Well,
self-defense in the face of...
You avoid where bullets will fly as much as possible, and I think those are the areas that we should. But I think that education on security is what we don't do.
So there's a lot of things in that message. So there's the role of security agencies, and that's where the bullets part come in. What do you do in the face of bullets? And that's usually the big part of the conversation. But you can't take away the individual, I would call it responsibility in that sense, because the Constitution provides that you can defend yourself. I mean, it gives you that right to self-defense. But, you know, this is going to be a major debate, naturally, Jeffrey, because the question that would always come up is for people, take Katsina, for example, the people in the mosque that went to pray on Tuesday, and the bandits came in and started shooting. Self-defense is good, but in the face of such attack, your self-defense is really nothing because they have guns and you just have your fist and your feet. What's the best you can do? Run at that point. So there are different layers to this. So primarily, yes, absolutely, everybody should learn self-defense. Everybody should be security conscious, but that doesn't take away the work that the security agencies in collaboration with the people also have to do. So yes, absolutely learn self-defense, but when it is escalated, defend yourself by running.
Yeah, just run away if you can. I totally agree with him that self-defense is very paramount. Basic skills. In fact, when I heard him say that yesterday, I said, Kayode, we need to bring that karate friend that comes on the show where when we used to do a lot of exercise. Maybe we'll have to do a series for the next 4 weeks on self-defense as a follow-up
to what the CDS
has said. So if somebody is armed or somebody is not armed, what do you do? You know, we can learn those basic skills pending when help comes through. But the bigger question is when they come with arms, there's really not much you can do. The only thing you can do is to look for a way to escape. That's the only thing. For now, Nigeria doesn't allow you bear arms as an individual. But there are people that have, you know, licensed guns and all of that. I feel that we should get to a point in Nigeria, a certain parts of this country where they should allow people to bear arms because of the way these terrorists and all these people just invade villages and kill people. Because if you know that you have equal measure of firepower coming against you, at least minimally, you rethink your action, you know. we'll call it the balance of terror. If you're coming to somebody's house and you're aware that the person has dogs and guns, no matter where you're coming from, you'll know that you may be a casualty in that particular encounter. So if things continue to escalate the way they're escalating, it may not be out of place for us to begin to have a conversation around bearing arms and even legislate on it, because people cannot just stay in their villages and get killed carelessly. But before we get there, the CDS has said, let us do the best we can as individuals to defend ourselves. I think he compared it to like swimming and driving. As much as you go to swim and learn how to drive, those are life skills. You also need a bit of self-defense. It keeps you fit, it keeps you alert, it gives you self-awareness so that you can defend yourself. I think totally, for this to be coming from the CDS, he's seen hell and won waters, and he knows that certain things could have been avoided. But Kayode, if we juxtapose that with the Supreme Court judgment of the gentleman who defended himself, according to the story, somebody invaded his village, with a gun or a machete, I can't remember what weapon it was. Well, he disarmed the person in the middle of the fracas. The person died. He was now sentenced to death. So there's a lot of conflict in terms of how these things are interpreted. That case is now people are making appeal to the president to grant the guy a pardon because he was simply defending himself, which is his constitutional right. Now he's been sentenced to death by the highest court in the land. So we need to be clear on exactly what we're doing as a people. But it's totally okay to defend yourself, Kayode.
Absolutely. So while we chew on that and ruminate on that, the point is everybody should be security conscious on the one hand. We should support the security agencies on the other hand. And it's expected that the security agencies are always up to the task whenever they are called upon. But the episode that played out on the Ibom Air flight, you recall weeks ago when a Nigerian, Comfort Emerson, a Nigerian lady, boarded an Ibom Air flight, and there was a back and forth about switching off your mobile phone and all of that, but things degenerated such that she had to be dragged off the plane in very controversial circumstances. Well, we understand that the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has now met with Comfort Emerson. That's the passenger who was involved in the disagreement with some crew members in that airline. That's according to a statement from the spokesperson of the agency, Michael Achimogu. But that's not all. The NCA also said that it met with the crew members of Ibom Air. So that includes Julie Edwards and other members of the crew involved in that incident as part of investigations into the incident. So she came with her lawyer, right? The NCA's legal department is also involved. Don't forget that Comfort Emerson is already seeking compensation for that particular incident, the embarrassment that came through when she was stripped some sort. She's seeking 500 billion naira in damages, according to what we are hearing. So this sort of intervention, how far would it go to, I don't know, douse the issues? Are they seeking some sort of out-of-court settlement? What exactly is going to play out? Well, we do not know, but we can tell you for sure that that meeting is held. We do not have an outcome for the meeting. But the implication for the future, now the NCA says everybody must switch off their phones, at least at very key parts of takeoff and landing. How would this be implemented or enforced? In fact, it's not implemented, it's more enforced now. What obtains in other climes? There are lots of debate around this. So we'll see how this plays out, Jeffrey. But to sweep this under the carpet, clearly this can happen. So all eyes are still on this.
I think clearly with the Emerson's case or Comfort's case, it was clear that Nigeria is elitist in their perception. When you see how Kwam was treated against how she was treated, it clearly means that if you have a name or you have a surname, treatment will be different. That is a fact. You can choose not to agree, but the two scenarios played out in our very eyes, and we see how two individuals who had different status were treated differently. Yeah. One even committed a heftier crime than the other, but the lesser one was another kettle of fish altogether. But to say that there's a way, I expected Ibom Air by now to have sorted this out. I do not hope this goes to court. given what has played out so far, the intervention of the government, but it's within the right of the girl to go to court because, in fact, initially when we saw that video, it was so embarrassing. Anybody should go to court in that kind of situation and seek as heavy compensation as he should. But since I felt that she was forgiven, for our own reaction, there's a way this can be settled and she can be compensated. But what I would have proposed if I was advisable mayor, which is an airline we're all very proud of, Akwa Ibom people are proud of, Nigeria is proud of, is perhaps the most successful state-owned airline in the country, has been doing pretty well. Let it not dampen this reputation with the poor PR. A simple apology, public apology to this girl, explaining how things played out and apologize that things escalated to the point where a body was exposed. Not this, we were not the one that filmed. We didn't, all that doesn't make sense. We'll go a long way. But if they want to still grandstand, well, the court is open to everybody. Go and find yourself. So it's as simple as that. But I'm sure the NCA is trying to look for some kind of ADR, alternative dispute resolution, to see how everybody can come. But she should be compensated one way or the other because what has happened to her cannot be taken away forever. Her digital footprint is there. The girl whose body, whose bosom was all over the place while she was being pulled out of an aircraft, that will not be taken away. So her dignity is in ruins. It's now for her to walk psychologically out of that space because she has to move on with her life. That for that mistake that was made by whoever around that airline did that, they should apologize to her and compensate her. It's as simple as it gets.
I mean, simple. Let's basically have a society that is straightforward, built on values. Whoever you are, you get the same treatment. But politics is also big. The PDP is holding meetings around zoning. It looks like there will be some issues as a result of that. The meeting was held in Lagos, and they're trying to just find a way around this zoning matter. But a prominent member of the PDP, the FCT governor, and
minister, it's okay.
The FCT minister and former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. He's not, of course, attending that meeting. In fact, what he's saying now, which he has said before, is that he's going to be for or support whoever supports President Bola Tinubu. That is the adverbial or proverbial day for who, day for you in that sense. So it's quite interesting that while the PDP is having meetings on how to go about 2027, the zoning, leadership and all of that, a member of the PDP, a prominent one, is saying, well, I am supporting the APC and the candidate, and if anybody is going to support him, hey, I'm going to support that person. So it's a very interesting time that the PDP has found itself. But let's take a listen to the FCT minister when he was speaking yesterday. Okay, we'll bring you that, but it's quite interesting, Jeffrey, that day for who, day for you, while the PDP is having meetings.
I'm exhausted talking about the PDP because the optics, the way they manage crisis has not been quite good. This is just a view, if they are serious about what they're doing, they can technically ignore Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister. I know it's dangerous to ignore him because I know what he's capable of. The reason is simple. He will support the president for the next election. How else can he, what more do you want him to say? So if you are a political party, and it's common sense, you're a political party and you're the opposition political party, and a prominent member of your party who supported the APC to win the election last year, the last election, and now is serving in that government, one of the performing ministers of that government, loyal to the president, has been clear on his direction as to who he will, show his support for or do everything possible to ensure that the person wins the next election. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you disturbing yourself? Because clearly he did anti-party activity like other people. It was at the vanguard of the G5. Others did their own anti-party secretly. He did his own openly. with the people that did it openly as well. After the election, they now started talking. Now he's going to do that anti-party activity, at least from his statements so far as a prominent member of the party. So why should the party be disturbing themselves? The problem I see here is that he has a lot of lieutenants in the party who are supporting. He has lawmakers, the minority leader in the House of Reps is loyal. The national secretary of the party is loyal. In fact, the national chairman of the party, acting national, we don't know where he stands. He still has the former governors also in the party as well who are support. So he has a lot of problems. I think the only person he has fallen out with, whether it's on TV or in real life, is Seyi Makinde, who was part of the G5. So that's what I'm saying. It's exhausting talking about this PDP back and forth. I think the PDP should just go ahead as a political party and do what they have to do. Whether Nyesom Wike, the FCT media, likes it or not, he can take his own action because he's clear he's supporting the president. So what else do you want the man to say? So why are you disturbing yourself? Anyway, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's common sense. It's just common sense. The man will not support your candidate in the next election, and he's been consistent. He's not mincing words. So why this back and forth? Just go ahead and do what you want to do. Good luck to you. When the election comes, if you win, fine. If you don't win, you prepare for the next one. Let's not wasting our time. Every day is in here, some weekend, Seyi Makinde, oh, you must do this. It's just a waste of money.
Jeffrey, did you say good luck to you, to them?
No, good luck to them, all of them.
As a candidate or just good luck generally?
No, not in that sense. I mean, good luck to everybody. It's a context.
Because there's a lot of talk around good luck, Jonathan, possibly being a candidate.
I don't see that happening. I can tell you almost so confidently, I don't see good luck coming out.
So they have about...
I don't see good luck coming back.
2 options now.
Yeah, I don't see...
Good luck, Jonathan. Peter Obi.
I know Peter Obi will definitely want to run. Atiku will definitely want to run. And Kwankwaso, I'm not sure. You know, he keeps his cards close to his chest. That's one politician I like somehow, the way he behaves. You don't know where he's coming, you don't know where he's going. He doesn't talk too much. He doesn't do pressers. He just gives you results. Okay, you are doubting me. These are my numbers. It's as simple, as clear as it is. So, but good luck, Jonathan. Coming back to the polls, that possibility is so slim right now because he has a lot going for him as a politician who was adjudged to be not a great president, but in his twilight when he left office, the way he surrendered, just considered defeat, kind of, did a lot of PR for him, and he's built on that PR to where it is. Coming back, and if he loses election the second time, you should know that when you're running against Bola Tinubu, you have to Bola Tinubu has never lost an election. And he started from the top. He started as a senator. He won. Okay. It was bought. He was a 2-term governor. The first time he attended to the president, he became president. So when you're coming against such an individual with such pedigree, you need to put your acts together. I don't see Goodluck Jonathan putting his heart in the ring. I may be wrong, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
So there you go, Jeffrey's prediction. But we'll take a moment now and show you how the dailies are reporting the big stories today. And Mr. Adeni Ifetayo joins us to walk through these headlines. Stay with us. We'll take a look at this Nigeria newspaper. That's where we start from this morning. But yes, as I said, Mr. Adeni Ifetayo joins us, media and public affairs analyst. Well, good morning, Mr. Ifetayo. Take a look at the big story on the front page of this Nigeria, and it's on the People's Democratic Party. It says, PDP, fresh crisis looms. Senior party leaders, zonal chairman, and others kick against Lagos meeting of southern leaders led by Oyo Governor Makinde. That meeting held in Ikeja, by the way. And it says, meeting illegal, conceived in bad faith. But Chief Bode George says, it's in the interest of our party. I will try to juxtapose this with what the FCT minister said. So, Mr. Ifetayo, is this fresh crisis or still the same crisis that has been playing out in that sense?
Good morning. Well, it has been the same crisis that have been playing out, so I don't see any fresh crisis loom. Rather than if PDP know what is good for them, if you want to, stick to whatever that is remains of their party, they know what should do. They know what they should do. Just like I was listening to your analysis in the studio, talking about our Minister of FCT who have declared me this intention known from beginning. Let me use the word, you did for me, I did for you. You push me, I push you. So there's no gainsaying, try to rub somebody on the head. If you know you want to ease him out, just ease him out and face your business. If you know that you still want to manage it to see whether it will come by, I told you. And I'm sure PDP are not going to come out and say we want to support the administration of President Bola Tinubu. We are not producing any candidate. So, but it's just the same crisis, but taking different dimension. And I'm sure everybody have right of association or to gather together, whether in Lagos or Ibadan or in Port Harcourt, whatever it is. So they know what is good for them. They are just escalating the whole process. They should just make their intention. No, we want you. Okay, what do you want? We don't want you. Just ease him out. There's enough of anti-party, just a little one, and you say this person had been excommunicated or is out of our party just because he has contributed so much. If you said he no longer want to jolly or make friends with you, just let him be, and he has his own right to his own opinion or whoever he wants to support.
Interesting, Mr. Adeni Fetai. Let's go to the next paper. This one, the Vanguard newspaper, something quite far away from the political conversation. Climate change, how floods worsen Nigeria's healthcare woes. Climate change, how floods worsen Nigeria's healthcare woes. The riders, havoc from floods, heat, unpredictable weather. Expert warn of deadly rise in diseases. Nigeria on environmental cliffhanger. Why proactive and inclusive policies are imperative to check looming disaster. So both the headline and the writers are not saying anything great. I don't know how much attention we pay to climate change beside the talk, Mr. Fetayo.
Yes, most of the things that, especially our leaders, they are very good when it comes to talking, They made so much promises. We've been talking about the issue of flood, climate change, just for them to meet. They will conclude, but it's the act of implementation that we are still lagging behind. And even on a normal day, we've heard a senator that died, a former senator that died recently because I couldn't cough out, I think maybe it was charged $15,000 just to continue a process. So not to talk when we have challenge because of a flood in Nigeria. And it just beats my imagination that it is only during the rainy season that is when the government will prepare to clear some drainage and all of that, and not just only to clear it, they will park it on the roadside. Once it's rain, everything goes back into the gutter, whatever thing it is. But it's just pity if it's just a pity that if a old former senator, just like you said, whether you have a name, there's a way you'll be treated. If you don't have a name, there's a name you'll be treated. And this country is just double standard, but I see. I think it will be one of the defining moments for this administration if they can tackle and give more attention to the issue of climate change. Not just talk the talk, but you walk the talk. And that is what we need to do. And more support infrastructure when it comes to healthcare facility in Nigeria.
So, Mr. Fetayo, I want to walk you through what's on the front page of a Guardian newspaper this morning, and it's a very interesting one. This is what we have on the front page of the Guardian. Alaafin versus Ooni. Old war path for new entrants. You'd almost think it's a movie or, an epic. but this is happening in 2025. And this is usually a conversation that some people stay away from. They just abstain because of the reverence they have for the thrones in that sense. But this has sort of degenerated. You had the spokesperson of the Oni, responding to the Alaafin, saying this looks like comedy to us, and that raised a lot of eyebrows. This has been on for, centuries now in some sense. But what do you make of the latest one, the chieftaincy title that was given by the Oni and the 48-hour ultimatum by the Alaafin to him to retract such?
With the respect to the throne and to their majesties, I believe they all belong to the same Nigerian Traditional Council of Nigeria, Traditional Council, Obas and Chief or whatever it is. That kind of a thing, I think something that they should have, I'm sure they should have their own numbers, or they should have reached out, my brother King, I think this step you're about to take, I don't think is in the right direction, or let's see, they can see behind the closed door and iron out, but also another, trying to issue 48 hours ultimatum, and the other king was saying this thing looked like a drama. It's just, all this thing are just an insinuation, not that is something we want to carry out. And I thank God that one or two prominent Yoruba leaders have said that he has reached out to both parties. It's just all interests of unity, progress. They are not on any war path. And of course, their body language, whatever you say on social media or on the media, so to say, I take your followers, to take a side with you. But I think if even Mr. President should, make a phone call or three-way call to them and say, what's going on here? It has happened before, but we don't want it to degenerate to something that people will begin to look at Yoruba culture or throne as something that is not being respected. But I'm sure they have their number. They can sort it out amicably. And it's not a show of supremacy or whose throne is higher or whose throne is bigger. It might send a wrong signal to other tribe within our nation.
Well, quite interesting. So we do not want this to degenerate in any form or shape, because these are very revered traditional institutions. In fact, they're technically paramount rulers. That's what you call them. Yes. Overlords in that sense. And these are very sensitive custodians of our heritage. And that's why we hope this doesn't go beyond what it is. And maybe there are persons who are managing their communications as well could do us a lot of good, because we cannot bring them. This is not politics, although there is politics in everything, but we do not want it to degenerate beyond all of this. Well said, Mr. Ifeta. Let's go to Nigerian News Direct. This is coming from the president. Is in Yokohama, that's in Japan. Don't stay away from your country. Tinubu appeals to Nigerians in diaspora. Says negative portrayals of Nigeria discourage investment partnership. What do you make of it, Mr. Adebayo?
Yes, of course. It's just there's a Yoruba that say that no matter how long you journey into the diaspora, never forget home. I'm sure what he's trying to say, that if you have made so much impact in the diaspora, you bring that back home and make your own contribution. And of course, sometimes it beats my own imagination too, that there are some Nigerians in the diaspora, they demarcate Nigeria. They thought they are talking down on the administration, but it affects Nigeria as a whole. I stumbled on a study that said that I think Africa generally, they lost about $5 billion to negative reports or negative PR. So I'm sure Nigeria will take a chunk of that. So it's not good for us. It's a good one, telling them, yes, if you are making wave here, see how you can come back and contribute. And talking down on your country is not only portraying Nigeria in a negative or in a bad light, it also reduce and kind of investment or discourage investor from coming. And most of these things sometimes is something you can come up, not just talking down about your country, but also profile solution. I believe in two ways. Don't just say, yes, you are doing this thing bad, but you can do it this way to make it better. So that's, for me, is a good one. I'm telling them, come back home, come and support. And if you are doing this, please reduce it so that it affects us back at home.
Okay, so if you take a look at New Telegraph, Mr. Fetayo, when you talk about back at home, this is an issue that keeps affecting us. It's almost perennial, and it's ASUU. And this goes all the way back to a 2009 agreement. And ASUU is threatening fresh strike, says that federal government has destroyed trust, rejects government's loan scheme, criticizes approval of new private varsities, and Nelfund restricts upkeep loans to academic sessions. So that came through on the site from Nelfund, saying, well, the upkeep you get is only for when you are in session. So when you're not in session, no more upkeep. You're not our responsibility anymore. You're your guardian's responsibility. But the big story is ASUU threatening fresh strike. It looks like this government has found a way around, industrial actions in the past 2 years at least. So do you see this being resolved, particularly because it goes all the way back to 2009?
Whoever take over as a business, you take over both liability and assets. So whatever part they had, the federal government has had in the past, whether in 2009 or 2 years ago, whatever it is, and the new administration must take responsibility for it. Governance is a continuum, and because of what federal government has done, like they said, they have said that federal government has destroyed the trust. You say you are going to do ABC, and when it gets to your turn, you are changing the goalposts. I don't think it's okay. And they said that whatever that is good for the goose is also good for the gander. You are saying you will only be entitled to your allowance or whatever it is. It's only when you are in session. I'm sure our senator, governors and all of that, whether in session or not in session, whether there's a break or not break, they get even, we are even talking about they want to review it upward now. So if you are enjoying that, and our education sector is very key, it's very critical, why can't you extend that gestures to them? So much to say for them, at least whoever that is looking for a friend must show himself friendly. Also saying that it's just a pity that where two lions fight, it's only the ground that suffers, which is the student, whatever it is that is going on. But I just pray that this government put its house in order and give them whatever agreement they had, in the past. If you can meet up your own whatever remuneration or whatever package as an office holder, why not extend the same gesture to our lecturer, to ASUU, so to say?
Okay, particularly now that the RMAFC is even proposing that the salary of political office holders be increased.
Exactly, be reviewed, exactly.
So we'll see how this plays out, because our education sector is a very vital one if we want to develop as a nation. But that's it with a look at the front pages, Mr. Fetayo. It's going to be an interesting weekend and the coming week. Okay, until we need to take just one more, that is a Daily Independent.
So since we have more time to take one more, let's go to Daily Independent. That has to do with the politics as well. We've spoken about this. Maybe let's see how they look at it. Lagos meeting. This meeting in Lagos that is causing trouble. Makinde dispels claims of crack in southern PDP. Throws shade at Wike. I won't go into gutters with him. Southern PDP didn't disown stakeholders meetings. PDP says the centers are being sponsored to mislead the public. You see, that means there's a lot more coming as far as this conversation is concerned. But if you were to speak to the PDP, they have barely 2 years or less, because this is already August 2025. By sometime around February or so, January, February, latest March, the timetable for the 2027 presidential election will be out from INEC. So whatever is being done now has to be, they have to put their house in order. What do you make of this?
Yes, it's very simple. I think one of them should be able to ask a bold question in one of their meetings, whether in Lagos or whatever it is, and say that we want to know, is FCT minister is still with us, or his action, does it mean that he has engaged in anti-party? So if it is yes, can't we ease him out so that we know where we are going? All these talking back and forth, we are having meetings. Just like I said, there's nothing bad in holding meeting, whether at the regional level or national level or at the state level. It's still part of a consultation, whether it happens in Lagos or elsewhere. But there's someone, among them should be able to ask a bold question or make a statement. From today, so person ceases to be our member based on A, B, C, and D, or we still want to bring him into our fold. It's as simple as that. So to me, I don't take them seriously if they want to put a fight. It comes to a serious fight. When I mean serious fight, as in they want to show off when it comes to 2027. So, and for Nigerians to take them seriously.
So there you have it. A look at the front pages. I really hope Nigerians are paying attention to all that is playing out, because sometimes, because you're faced with plenty of things, you tend to lose sight of these things and then we forget. But Mr. Adeni Fetai, we have to thank you so much for your time, as always, and wish you a great weekend. I know for newsmen, you won't have a weekend because you're also following the news, but at least a semblance of a restful one. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure to join from Warri here.
All right, welcome back. There's been a war of words between the government of Abia State and a group called the Abians Best Interests Association over earmarks and expenditure as far as the fiscal performance of the Abia State government is concerned. And that has generated a lot of talking points and across the streets of Abia State, Aba, Umaya and environs, and on pages of local newspapers. And that's why we're bringing in our guest, is the former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Abia State, Mr. Eze Chikanayo, joins us from our Abuja studios. Mr. Chikanayo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, my brother. How are you doing?
Well, so before I throw in my first question, because I took my time to listen to some of the comments of the governor in response to you, and I would like him to say it himself. So take a listen to the governor in his response to whatever allegations you're leveling against the state government.
So, to Eze Chikamnayo, I have a message for him. This is a different government. And my response to his request that came at the beginning of this administration remains the same. The person he sent to me, he wants to be part of this government. I told him no. And the answer is no. So we have followed him. He has been part of every government from 1999. In 2007, he started blackmailing the governor at that time, and they called him and gave him a job. If he likes, let him hang on a transformer. This government will not call him. So he said I should do a video. I checked the records and I found that about 5 or 6 schools are being done in Umunochi as we speak. He should come home and see them, if he's not afraid of coming home. I shouldn't do a video. Why should I do a video and prove to him that I'm working in his local government? No, he should come. He should not stay in Abuja. And if he comes, please, somebody should also tell him not to forget to also visit the university where he claimed he read law. I'm also working there. Okay? And to the people that sent him, first of all, they sent the wrong person. A man without credibility, you don't need to send him to go and talk about it. You need to, and in any case, they may not have found a man with credibility to come and talk rubbish.
Okay, Mr. Chikanayo, we wanted those words to come directly from the governor. So just for reference, he said you lack integrity. He said you're a serial blackmailer, that this is your forte in getting attention of government to call you for the job. What's your response?
My response, my dear brother, is that I will refuse to be distracted. Governor Otti occupies a very important position, the position of governor of Abia State. And that position requires some level of maturity and conduct. So when a governor gives a tag to everybody that asks important questions as a diversionary tactics to distract from the questions, we should know better than to match him. Number one, I didn't send anybody to him. I've challenged him. This person has a name. If he exists, let him mention. Number two, I've not communicated with him either by text, WhatsApp, call from 2019 to date. This technology, let him prove. In law, we say, he who asserts must prove. So let's quickly leave that diversionary tactics. It's a deliberate. The governor was being deliberately dishonest and deliberately diversionary so that you and everybody listening to him will think it's all about Chigamnayo. So we'll not do that. We'll not succumb to that.
So what exactly are you saying against the government? Because he listed, I'm trying to get back to some of the things I put out. He said that if you even go to your own local government, things he's doing there, he said 4 to 5 schools in Umunochi is being renovated. He said 61 schools so far. They spent about 14.43 billion naira in renovating those schools, because I understand there were allegations of missing money, about 54 billion. Looking at the performance of the budget of 2024, you questioned your understanding of economics, that there is a difference between earmarks and releases for execution. What do you make of that? So let's lay bare what you're alleging against the government.
Thank you, my brother. We are not making any allegation. We are just asking for clarification. The governor himself published in the Abia State website, published by the governor himself through his Minister of Finance, that 51 schools has been completed in Abia State with a sum of 54 billion. And we asked a simple question. Let's have the location of these schools, pictures don't lie, evidence is the end of argument. Let's know local government by local government. We have 17 local governments. Let's just have a simple list, 1, 2, 3. He wrote by himself, he made the assertion, and he published it in the state's budget performance report. And we said, please, sir, give us a list of these 51 schools, their location. Let us know the contractors handling them in line with due process. And let us also know the amount involved in the spirit of transparency and accountability. The governor belongs to the Labour Party. The Labour Party is headed by Peter Obi. Peter Obi popularized the cliché, go and verify. So we did not abuse the governor. We did not insult the governor. We just asked him, sir, please, let us go and verify in line with the philosophy of your party. We don't want a wild goose chase. You made the assertion, he who asserts must prove. You said you have done 51 schools with 54 billion. And let me clarify something very important, so that the governor doesn't pull the wool over the eyes of people as he's trying desperately to do. There is a difference between budget proposal sent to the House of Assembly, which is can vary, and budget performance reports, which warehouses expenditure already done. that is sent to the Federal Ministry of Finance, as requested, for this started with Okonjo-Iweala, that some of these governors, local government chairmen, the monies that go to them, you don't know how it's spent. So every quarter, in the SEFTAS platform is State Financial Transparency, Accountability, and Sustainability Program. Every government uploads what they have done. Budget performance. Budget proposal is different from budget performance. Proposal is intention. Performance is expenditure already done. And the governor came to the budget performance, uploaded by himself and his officials, and said, I've done 51 schools with 54 billion. And we said, sir, please, this is exciting. We are very excited. Because if you talk of 51 schools with 54 billion, you are saying an average of 1 billion naira plus per school. So Abia should be an aid director. But we didn't see the schools. We went round. There on the screen is the budget performance report published by the governor himself. So we went round in January because the 51 schools for 54 billion covered only January to December 2024. Remember that between May 29, 2023 and December 2023, the governor had withdrawn and spent and uploaded in SEFTAS 14 billion under public schools. January to December 2024, he took away 54 billion. From January this year to about June this year, which is first and second quarter, June, July, he has taken away another 14 billion. So in essence, if you think of the 14 billion of 2023, the 54 billion and 66 million, 138,500 crore that he took away in 2024, and then you add to the one he has taken away this year, we are talking about over 80 billion. But we don't want to go into that. We said, just give us the schools, public schools, that you have rehabilitated and upgraded in 2024, 51 of them. Let's concentrate on 2024. As usual, the governor got very upset, very surprisingly and shockingly upset. He started abusing us. Last time, if you remember, when he said he was going to change from transition committee chairman, upgrade them to mayors at Abia Sports Club, the people that questioned him then, he said they should go and hit their head on the wall. It was in this program that we came and said, how can the governor ask citizens to go and hit their head on the wall just because they made the inquiry? So this time he said, I should go and hug transformer. So from hitting my head on the wall, and I'm heading towards the transformer, all because we asked questions. The governor himself was an opposition leader at the federal, at the state level for 10 years. He wore T-shirts asking questions about governance. He questioned the then government. I don't know why it is now very irritating to him, very annoying, that he has to dehumanize and humiliate and shame to silence anybody that tried to ask him questions. It is absolutely unbelievable. But we are not going to be distracted, like I said earlier. P2B should be able to take Governor Otti into a very private meeting and educate him that what P2B is doing to President Tinubu at the federal level, holding him to account as opposition, is what the APC, to which I belong, and other parties in Abia State that are not the ruling party, that's the obligation we owe to the citizens. So victimizing us, humiliating us, if you saw in that tape, you say, if he's not afraid, let him come home. That's a threat. Everybody knows what that means. When somebody says, if you are not afraid, come here, it means if you come here, something untoward will happen to you. For a state governor, chief security officer of a state, to be threatening his own citizens, shaming them to silence, trying to intimidate them just for asking simple questions. You posted by yourself. You wrote by yourself. You uploaded by yourself, your government, that you have done 51 schools for 54 billion. And we said, sir, please show us, that will surface, just show us this list of the schools. No abuse, no insults, no denigration, nothing at all, not even an allegation. We just say, let's have a simple list. So that if you go to Enugu State, our sister state there, Abia State earns more than Enugu State. Abia State, under Governor Otti, has earned over 1 trillion naira cumulatively in less than 2 years because of what President Tinubu has done. He has shifted all this money to the subnationals and the local governments. So much money, over 1 trillion naira in less than 2 years. And Enugu State, you see them celebrating their aircraft, you see them celebrating their 100 CNG buses, you see them celebrating their smart schools, you see them celebrating all sorts. In Abia State,
Mr.
Tinubu is showing workings. What we are getting is intimidation.
Well, Mr. Chikamaya, let me comment
high.
quickly and speak to some of the points he raised. And I know you've tried to respond to them. But the issue around blackmail is still an elephant in the room, which I want you to speak to. He said that you have worked with government since time immemorial, and he's not going to allow you to be part of this government. So I want you to speak to that, those issues around blackmail. But also, he said that about 5 to 6 schools in Umunochi are already being renovated. They talked about work being done in your local government, even in the school as well. So are those things you have been able to verify indeed? Because you've referenced the go and verify mantra. So have you gone to verify? Are these things really happening, or are they not?
Yes, you see, what I have said, and I responded very quickly and totally. I said, 1, I've never blackmailed anybody. Number 2, I have never sent anybody to Governor Lesotho, and I challenge him publicly to name the person and shame me, bring the evidence and show me that I have ever, under any circumstance, sent anybody, mention this name, unknown person, unknown public schools, unknown contractors, just flying the kites, small screen, trying to pull the wool over the eyes of people. What has my working with every government has to do with 51 schools built with 54 billion, published by Governor Lesotho himself? You should know when somebody is playing to the gallery and he wants to change the topic. We are not going to be distracted. This topic must be treated. It's our duty as opposition. I'm a member of the All Progressive Congress. President Tinubu is there. He has never called out P2B, called him names, tried to shame him or victimize him or humiliate him because he asked questions. Rather, it is the joy of every working governor to invite people over to his state and say, see what I'm doing. But when our governor does not live up to the biddings of his own party, his own leader, and he does not live up to the biddings of international transparency agencies, like he does not at all want anybody to look at what he's doing. When he's running a one-man government, wherein there are absolutely no checks and balances, and gets upset, it's very crucial. Then going to Umunochi, my local government, we verified. We wrote a letter in January, the Abia Best Interest Association. We wrote to the Commissioner for Finance to give us a list of these schools, and he didn't respond. We wrote to the Commissioner for Information in April, no response. Then before we did the press conference and asked the governor to please, let's have the schools. We shouldn't even be doing that. Ordinarily, if the governor is transparent, the same governance that everybody runs, both our federal and state government, it is not, he doesn't have to wait for citizens to ask for this list. As he's talking about 51 schools, the schools, there will be an attachment of the list of benefiting schools, the location of the benefiting schools. The citizens don't have to even stress to ask this question. But since he has refused and completely rebuffed every attempt for any form of request for accountability and transparency, and we ask this question, he has gotten very angry. And why is he angry? His party is a party that is known with the mantra, go and verify. Why is he afraid of verification? Okay, even in that press conference he organized, evidence is the end of argument. All he needed to have done is to have come to that press conference. Pictures don't lie. Lists are there. He will come, maybe seated by the right Commissioner for Education, by the left Commissioner for Finance. They will say, gentlemen of the press, here are the schools, here are the locations, here are the contractors, go and verify. But instead of doing that, he turned the governor of a state, turned the whole press conference about a person trying to abuse me, trying to intimidate me, trying to threaten me, and I refuse to be abused. I refuse to be intimidated. I refuse to be oppressed. I refuse to be cowed. And if you watch from 1999 to date, we don't have up to 30 years. Even civil servants have 35 years to stay in the service. And the governor is telling you that the mere fact that somebody worked as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999, if he has opportunity to render service again, he should not do that. I never went to him. I will never go to him. I'm a member of the APC. Even the people that are with him in Labour, he has completely thrown them into serious confusion in Abia State. So his government is not attractive to any reasonable person. It's not a place I want to go. I have taken my pride of place as an opposition person in an opposition party, and I'm doing my citizenship right of asking questions.
All right.
It's my right to ask questions, isn't it?
Okay, Mr. Chikanayo, definitely, I'm sure the Abia State government will have a response. I think it's a fair request, like you've made, that the response should be as clear as crystal, so that every other person can verify. But people have also praised him for, is it power now in the state, road infrastructure, facelift to places like Abia and other places. Project is done, but perhaps your focus is primarily on this, this instance, on the issue of the schools and the expenditure. But we expect the Abia State government to give a robust response, and maybe if we invite them, we would like to see, so that we can also, you can also see what they say they've done. Like he said, I think about, I want to go back so that I'm quoted rightly. He said he's done about, that should be about, where's the number now? 61 schools. I think I had 61 schools with about 14.43 billion. No, what he said in the video, I think it's 61 or so, either 51 or 61, with 14.43 billion. In responding to you, I mean, in his response to the remarks he made at that presser. So perhaps what you requested, I think, is fair for us, everyone, to see. But almost thank you so much, Mr. Eze Chikanayo, the former Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Abia State, and the convener, Abian's Best Interest Association. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother.
All right, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be having the Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Customs, Honorable Leke Abejide, to speak on some of the things that have been playing out in that sector. The other day, we saw what the Guardian reported as the new licensing charges to the tune of almost 1,800 to 1,500 increases. And if this happens, so proposals work, it's going to impact on all of us. But just to make sense of what is playing out as far as trade management, trade promotion, revenue drive through the customs is concerned, and how we need to be informed about this is the conversation we're having next with the Honorable Member of the House of Reps. Stay with us.
Well, Nigerians woke up to reports of the proposed new licensing charges on port operations by the customs, effectively increasing fees for clearing agents and agencies renewals, which, as of now, is 215,000 to 4 million naira. Bank bonds for clearing agents from 350,000 naira to 20 million naira. In fact, there's one of the fees, bonded warehouses renewal, from 60,000 naira to 10 million naira. And it goes on and on, bonded warehouses fresh from 60,000 to 20 million naira. So what this means is that port operations would spike. The cost of port operations will spike. And for the end users, that is the everyday Nigerian, the prices would also follow suit. And this is a major challenge. Yes, the proposal is meant to take effect from next year, but already this is causing a lot of uncertainty, uproar, and the rest. So this morning, we're joined on the program by the Chairman House Committee on Customs, Honorable Leke Abejide, is live with us from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Honorable Abejide, and welcome to the program.
Good morning to you all, and good morning, Nigerians.
This report came as a shocker. I mean, people are still grappling with the removal of subsidy, having to pay for high, transport costs, running costs, even electricity costs, food costs, and the rest. Now we have this proposal from the customs. So speak to us about the backstory. What exactly is at play here, Honorable, with this proposed tariff increase?
Okay, thank you again for having me. Well, I believe is, number one, to come up to speed with modern reality. Then number two, for control. If you look at that of bonded terminals, bonded warehouses, you will discover that there is proliferation of warehouses everywhere now. And most of them are not doing anything. Most of them are just established in order to maybe fly containers or take goods away. Customs is not even in control anymore. And it was not like that in those days when people like us were in operation. You know, a bonded terminal will have all equipment that is required to be able to function effectively, you'll be able to deliver to clients on time. But if you go to most of these so-called bonded terminals now, you will not see forklifts, you will not see other equipment that are needed to do the operations. And it's because they see it very easy to, establish. And that time that they put it at 50 million, what was the exchange rate? Around 150 naira to $1. It was $333,000. But if you look at that time and now, it's not the same. The exchange rate today is hovering around 1,500, 1,550. So if you divide it by this 500 million, it's around $332,000. So that is one. Then for control, so that they'll be able to minimize the numbers of all these bonded terminals that are everywhere doing something that they cannot do. In fact, I was in Kano, I left Kano in 2019. As at the time I left, we had just 2 terminals, bonded terminals, that is inland containers terminal and APNT terminal. But as at the time I went back now, there are almost 10 or more. And you will discover that most of them have nothing to do. They don't have the required equipment. They were just, using it as a way to, take goods away without even duty. There are a lot of atrocities being committed by most of them. So with this, they'll be able to pull them down, and those who can work effectively, that have equipment, will not be in business. To me, that is the best thing to do for now.
So, Honorable, let's understand it clearly. So first, you will have to explain to Nigerians who are not familiar with the ports what a bonded terminal or a bonded warehouse is and how it's different from any other one.
Oh, okay,
so
okay. Sorry?
Just a moment. Just in addition to that, okay, maybe answer that, then I'll ask my question so that people are familiar with what you're talking about.
Okay. Bonded terminals are terminals that was designed to decongest the port so that one vessel comes by Transair. Transair is a document you will apply to custom with, telling custom that you have a bond in the bank that covers the goods you want to carry without duty payment until it gets to the destination. That is your own particular terminal you want to transfer the containers to. So it's usually given to places where there are no ports, or where there are ports and there are congestions like Lagos. So we have them a bit far away from the port so that when the vessel comes, they either move those containers either by barges, which is a recent thing now, or by trucks to those terminals. But they will go with custom escorts and with that Transair. There will be no duty collected on them until I can't hear you anymore. Hello?
No, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So until when the container gets to the terminal that was licensed by Nigeria Customs Service, no duty will be paid, but with a bond. And that bond must cover the items you are carrying. So you will discover that Somebody who's having 50 million bond is carrying one container or two containers has already covered that bond, but he can use that same bond to carry 100 containers. Some of them now, if not now that technology has come up, some will leave the port, it will not get to the destination, to be diverted. So this is what we call bonded terminals. That is, it's under bond, and then you can carry your goods there and pay duty there, not pay duty before picking them. That is the meaning of bonded terminal.
Okay, so I'm looking at, so let me look at, because from this technical end, we'll get to the ones that are relatable to Nigerians. This is primarily for the players. So we understand that bonded warehouses, fresh licenses will now go from 60,000 to 20 million. I don't know how many percent that is at the top of my head immediately. Bonded warehouses renewal will go from 60,000, if I'm correct here, to about 10 million. So is this a question of trying to sanitize the system through discrimination by cost? Is that what is happening here?
No. You see, I did the repeal and the reenactment of Nigeria Customs Service Act. You know, before it was called SEMA, Custom and Excise Management Act of 1958. So most of these charges is as old as that SEMA. So now that the act is in operation, everything has to change. It's not about discrimination, I told you. It is about doing the right thing. For example, one container before, maybe the cost of a container may not be more than 5 million naira. But now, because of devaluation of naira, you will see that one container can cost 20 million, or even more, depending on the items you are carrying. So, for them to adjust this cost, in reality, with what is happening in the economy, it is not a bad idea. So, and I believe those operators too, they understand. The chairman of Association of Nigeria Licensed Customs Agents, the chairman of APAPA and Tinkan, they were with me 3 days ago. And I tried to educate them on some things, and it was clear to them. You see, this is not new thing. It is about the reality on ground. It is not maybe they're trying to discriminate. See, this is not a cheap business to venture into. If you want to go to a bonded terminal operation, you must be ready. Because even to buy the forklift alone, you will need close to 500 million naira. To do the terminal, you will need close to that 500 million naira. So, what is there for you to have a bond to operate your place of 500 million naira? If you can invest billions to put the infrastructure in place, you should know that all these goods are to pay duty. What if they go with them without duty? The essence of collecting bond from them is that if they default, the custom will not discharge the bond as duty evaded to federal government of Nigeria.
Right.
It's just a way to block the leakages, nothing more. It's not that the customer is going to collect the money into their pocket. The money is still their own money, but it's in the bank. Any attempt for them to default, the money will go back to federal government of Nigeria.
Well, Honorable, you said you've had conversations with some of the operators, but we have it on good authority, and I'm sure you're aware that a lot of these importers and brokers are protesting against this increase. Yes, absolutely. Let's ensure that we clean up the system. Let's ensure that best practices, global best practices, just a second, Honorable. Let's ensure that global best practices are upheld in that sector. That's understandable. But think about the impact this will have on the economy. Prices are high as it is as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, the hike in electricity costs, the hike in food prices, and all of that. So a lot of Nigerians have it up to this point? I mean, data costs already. So if you're going to, I mean, measure the impact of this, a lot of the increase is 20-fold more than that. Have you tried to measure the impact it will have on prices of these goods when they come into the Nigerian market? Wouldn't it be higher than the reach of Nigerians now?
I just told you that. Which one? Are you referring to the 500 million bonded bond?
All of the increased costs. Naturally, the operators will pass it on to the Nigerian consumer.
Let me tell you that the impact to the economy will be infinitesimal.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
If you want to renew your license and then you are paying 10 million naira as an agent who is working, this 10 million naira is for a whole year. And I want to tell you that most of these agents can do job worth of 10 billion, 20 billion. So they will not even feel it. It is the way to sanitize. If you know you are not capable to operate, there's no point. In those days, all I know is that few licenses operate. So if you are a licensed customs agent, you can also use a competent licensed customs agent to operate. It does not mean you must go and get your own license. At least 10 agents, or even more, use one license. This is what I know very well. But if you want to have your own license, you must be capable of having your own license. And you must be able to operate. So what's the essence of having a license and you don't have the job? That, to me, is not going to translate to any increase in cost. Then, issue of the 500 million. The 500 million is not spent. It's just a backup. Because some of them they normally default. Once they default, that money goes to government. That is the essence. It's not that it's an increasing cost. It's for you to, put it down that if I run away without paying this duty that I say I will pay when I get to my terminal, then this money should be taken. It's not that it's going to be added to any cost. Not at all.
All right. Honorable, so let's look at, I know that you've talked about they do a lot of turnovers as far as their business is concerned. I'm seeing clearing agencies renewal from 215,000 a year to 4 million. New ones, that's agents and agencies, fresh license from slightly over 500,000 to 10 million naira. But let's speak broadly now to the issue of the FOB that was approved by that legislation.
Before you go to FOB, 215,000 has been there more than 20 years. More than 20 years. It has been like that.
Okay.
What is 215,000 naira today? It has been there more than 20 years.
So I understand perfectly. So at the end of the day, we cannot take away the fact that
4 million to a real licensed customs agent.
Okay, I just needed you to land. But the point I'm making is that it's a significant increase.
I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
What I'm trying to say is a significant increase as far as this is concerned for these people who are operators and all of that, as far as the ports are concerned, from 215 to about 4 million, and then fresh ones from 500K or 500,000 to 10 million naira. We can't dismiss the fact that government is aggressive on their revenue drive, which is why I'm coming to the issue of the FOB. The last time we had a conversation, I think on another sister program, we talked about our FOB issues, which has to do with free on board charges that has to do with the person who is actually the importer. But one of the big challenges I want you to speak to is broadly is that the charges at the ports are quite heavy on businesses. And I gave you an example of, for instance, a car. Say 5 years ago, if you were buying an average, say, a regular, maybe a Toyota, sorry for mentioning them, but just for reference, you could, with everything you spend, buying the vehicle, clearing it, getting to you, everything could be less than 3 million or 2.5 million. Today, as we speak, you have to be around 10 million naira. So you can see the astronomical increase. And that has to do with the clearing and all of that. But you had mentioned to the effect that any car more than 10 years is supposed to be impounded, but this is just graced by the importers or by the government or customs to say, okay, rather impound the vehicle, look, pay this amount of money. What can we do? Because the cost, the effects, the cost eventually is passed on to all of us who are consumers. We can't close our eyes. On one hand, we can be celebrating that government is making huge revenues from custom, but businesses are getting the hit, and consumers at the back end receiving all of the hits from the pass-on effect of the suppliers.
Okay, let me start from the 4% FOB issue. That is not an increasing cost. No, before now, on the dashboard of duty, we have what we call Comprehensive Import Supervision Scheme, 1% CISS, and the custom has what they call cost of collection, 7%. So both have gone. 7% cost of collection, gone. 1% comprehensive import supervision, gone. The only thing that comes now is the 4% FOB. And that is to tell you now that even now it is only 3% increase you can see, because before the 1% was on the dashboard of duty payment. So now coming to the issue of cost of vehicles. In Ninth Assembly, when we were doing the Finance Act, I suggested that this age limit should be increased to 15 years. That is, vehicles that is 15 years old can come into Nigeria. But they insisted that it is going to bring an environmental problem. The emission that will be coming out. To me, 15 years old vehicle is not bad. So most of the agents, I saw one video, one agent was citing 012, 010, now 1 million. It is not customs. It's a policy of the government. And if they have followed what the law says exactly, that 010, 012 are not supposed to go out of the port. So they only help them by taking the year to the year that is commensurate with what the policy says. And if you are now giving the value of a vehicle that is 20 years old and you're giving it the value of the 10 years old, it cannot be the same. The price will go up. So this is what is responsible. What we can do by legislation, which I will support, is by increasing the age. That is, vehicle of 15 years can come into the country. And with this, normal duty that is supposed to be paid can be paid. Maybe it may not be more than 1.52 million for the Corolla. But now, because of the age limit, you see duty going to 5 million, 6 million on just small Corolla vehicle. It's because of the age limit policy of the government.
Honorable, sorry, Honorable.
Policy should be
Honorable, my apologies.
And then?
My apologies, Honorable. I commend you for, and we're going to hold you to it, I commend you for saying you're going to make that move. But are we not being, I'm trying to be careful with my words now. Let's be realistic. How many Nigerians can afford cars? This is the car that the average Nigerian...
it is not government. It is during the late president that this was done.
No, I understand.
The age limit has been there from Abacha time anyway.
Yes,
they keep on reviewing it every 2 years.
We're trying to make way. We're trying to make headway. So this is just, us trying to layer the issues. So are we not, to be realistic, how many Nigerians can afford cars, even if the car is 5 million? And our import substitution as far as car manufacturing is not robust enough. Even if you tell Nigerians, every Nigerian to start buying cars in Nigeria, our capacity cannot meet up. I think we had one of the biggest manufacturers of cars in Nigeria the other time. We asked him, how much is his lease car? He said 22 million. His leased, the smallest of them. How many Nigerians can dole out 5 million? So when we are putting policies are not supposed to be bottlenecks. Policies are supposed to drive trade, make life easy for a lot of people. So as much as we talk about environmental issues, is this still fair to say 15 years? Can't we increase it, given our economic reality? That's just a question.
Yeah, I believe we can do that better. Even government, when they try to increase it, the local assemblers here, the local manufacturers here kicked against it. They worked seriously against it and said that they want to kill their own businesses. So this is another challenge. But me, I believe that even the local assemblers, no ordinary man can buy their vehicles. Because if you ask them, they don't have vehicles less than 10 million. Their own vehicles are so expensive. I would suggest that for the time being, we should increase this age limit to 15 years. To me, it was 20 years I proposed. But they say even 15 years they can't do. So if we can even do 15 years, it will bring the cost down.
All right.
And you remember two things affected the cost of the vehicle. Two things. One, the devaluation. Then two, this age limit policy. So if they increase the age, you will see that customers will be able to collect less duty on them.
All right.
And by the time they get to market, the price will be cheaper. So
inadvertently, this is still at the table of the current government, right? So the current government is able to make a change. But before we let you go, Honorable, you've described yourself as a landlord of the ADC. I mean, you're almost like the last man standing in some sense. And I wonder, if anybody wants to come into anybody's house, you have to speak with the landlord in that sense. If you want to do anything, speak with the landlord. And with all of these movements we've seen, you still say you will support the APC, but everybody's looking at the ADC as a coalition. So is your home or your house, in that sense, still open to the likes of Mr. Nasir El-Rufai, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, Mr. Peter Obi, and of course, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, saying that you have said you are the landlord of the ADC?
Well, Kadi, today I thought I came to educate Nigeria about...
This is part of education, political education, Honorable. This is political education.
So I was not prepared for politics, but since you ask, well, you can see that coalition collapsed last week, Saturday. All over the country, they could not even win one seat. So that is the beginning of the end. And in the next by early next month, the coalition will collapse completely. Because I have said it without number, you cannot come to somebody's house, hijack his house, and you think that the person, no matter how stupid he is, he will be looking at you. I will let them know that I am the landlord. The landlord, somebody who I didn't establish the party, but I'm the one that got used to make the party to remain where it is today. And I have never come to any big party. I have used it to contest all my elections and brought people apart from myself to National Assembly and in the State Assembly. So, in all over the country, where do you see such? None. It's not existing. None of them knew that this party was there before. I don't believe the former Vice President Atiku is in this party. He has not taken our card. He's partyless now. He resigned from PDP, but he has not joined any party. And Obi too, he has not taken this. He's still a member of Labour Party. He said it severally. And there are people like former governor of Kaduna State, my other brother, Nasir El-Rufai. He has not, I don't think he's fully in this party yet. If he's there fully, there was an election in his state, he should be able to win one seat there. So maybe the only people who can say they are in this party now, they are a member of this party, but not chairing any seats, is former Senate President David Mark and former Osun State Governor Ralph Aregbesola. So these are the two people that are just ordinary members of the party yet. They are not holding any position yet, according to the constitution of the party.
Well, that is very interesting, because what we see is quite different. But I think it's a fair place to leave it. It's too early days.
If you read our constitution,
all right.
It's not different.
All right, Honorable. Since you said you are not prepared, now you are bringing out the sword. So let us let it rest now, so we can let you go. I'll be speaking with Honorable Leke Abejide, Chairman House Committee on Customs, and now self-proclaimed landlord of the ADC. Thank you for your time, Honorable. Wish you the very best.
Thank you for greeting the landlord, and landlord is greeting you.
All right. There you have it. Politics. You can never predict what will happen. But we'll take a quick break now, and when we return, we have more for you. As a Nigerian who is riding across the world, and of course, Mike Abdul will be joining us on the show this morning. Stay with us for break.
Welcome back. So let's talk about a daring adventure by somebody who is riding his bike from Europe to Africa. Let's bring in our guest, Sibijuwon Sofekun, also known as Firekiss, joining us from Faro in Portugal. Welcome, sir, to the program, and good to see you.
Good morning, sir. How are you too? How are you doing?
I'm very well. I think the big question everybody has whenever we see people that are daring like this, as far as cross-country, cross-continent adventure is concerned, is to ask, why take the risk?
Sorry, take which risk? And the entirety of life is a risk, one. But at the moment you have a greater cause, then it's no longer a risk.
So what is this? Okay, I thought you're done with your thoughts, but maybe you can expatiate even further as to what this greater cause is, because we know apparently there's a driving force, which is what we want you to share with the rest of us and our audience.
Okay. And the reason I'm writing is that I'm writing advocating for the mental health of the boy child. And the question is, oh, so what does that mean? In the world we currently live in, most of the problems, probably 80%, 90%, gun crime, hate crime, cultism, and Yahoo, bullying, they're all tied to men. And the question is, how have we gotten to that point where it is the male species that all problems are now tied to? So I ask, and I say, which kind of young boys, grew into men that are doing these nasty things? And my thinking is that we should begin to stifle the flow of young boys that derail into bad men, in the hope that over time, we will get back to a, in quotes, sane, humane, and a friendly society at large where there can be a peace. Because if we're not friends, we can't have global peace. And believe you me, global peace is key to every other thing that we aspire to achieve as a people. And currently I'm in country number 26. And I found out that even in places like Monaco, where there's no element of poverty at all, they have major issues with the mental health of the boy child. Unfortunately, the road to suicide has become so short. In Luxembourg, the greatest cause of death of young men between ages of 18 and 29 is suicide. This is in a country where transportation nationwide is free. Get on a train, on a bus, any transportation mode, and you're getting, and you don't pay one dime. Yet, suicide is a problem. For me, I think that for any young man that has lived 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, and can within 24 hours take a decision to end that life, then something is critically wrong.
Let me come in quickly here and just speak to the elephant in the room. A lot of people see you, I mean, they love the look. I think bikers just have that naturally. When they show up, people love that look, the way you're dressed and with your bike. But a lot of people are thinking, how old is he? You're almost 70, am I correct?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I am only 69.
Okay, sorry, almost 60, pardon me. Almost 60, so you're 59.
No, I am 69.
Exactly. So you're almost 70. You almost messed up my head there.
That is not 70. It's just 69. And age is just a number.
Come on, you're 69 and you're... Only? Wow. Wow. I mean, I know 39-year-olds that wouldn't even dare Lagos to Ibadan, but you are doing Lagos to Lagos from Portugal to Nigeria. How has this been? Because at 69, a lot of people are retired, some tired, but you are not even close to that. You're even still called a fire kiss riding that bike. How does it feel?
So, and the first duty that we owe the world for the space we occupy is that we must be deliberate in thinking. We must be generational thinkers, all right? Think in old age, you must begin to think for the generation that will come, all right? And unfortunately, let me let you into a secret that many young men have not come to assist you. In old age, you will have a lot of time on your hands, and most likely, you will become an ancestor bachelor. Ancestor bachelor, which means your children would have grown up, gone off to their own lives. And your lovely, darling wife would be gallivanting the world in the name of that duty of looking after grandchildren. You will and you may end up alone at home. Now, at that point, you must find something valuable for humanity to do with the time that you will pray to God for every day, for 1 extra year, for more time. It's your duty to find out what you will do with that time. If not, you would end up wasting God's time. And that would not be fair. So, currently, my cause is, let's put the discussion of the boy child on the table.
Right.
The time is not now anymore to say, you're a man, be tough, man up, boys don't cry. Let's throw that out of the window. This is a people issue. It's a people issue. And for me, Nigeria is in the top 10 countries of the world because countries are not valued by the sizes of their armies, by their wealth. If it was money, Kuwait and Brunei would rule the world. But it's not about money, it's about people.
All right.
And Nigeria, no matter how you count it or you guess it, we're in the top 10 most populous country in the world.
Ramos, thank you so much. I wish you the very best on your journey back to Africa from Europe, finding a great cause at 69. Well, you say you're young, so we stay with your youthfulness, because it's clearly just being expressed through the things you're already doing, which we're all inspired by. Abejide Sofekun is also known as a fire case, riding his motorbike from Europe to Africa just to help raise awareness around mental health. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate you.
Absolute pleasure, sir. Absolutely.
Well, Mike Abdul joins us in the studio. You don't have to wait too long to find out who our guest is. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
He's 69.
Oh, amazing.
And he's riding a motorbike.
Inspiring.
I must say, you're one of those people I always look at and I'm like, it's like you're not aging in that sense. You're growing younger. It's still the same Mike Abdul. That's the same energy.
Midnight crew.
Exactly. So, what are you guys in the same WhatsApp group? Or this Forever Young?
Honestly, I was just feeling him. I think it's transgenerational, and I think that's it for me. You know, I think I want to be able to translate, you know, what happened in my generation in the culture to the emerging cultures. You know, I want to translate it to them, let them understand what this essence is all about.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Always good to see you. You have a very interesting personality. You're calm right now.
I am.
But when you grab the mic, it's a different person entirely. And I was like, is it the same person? So what exactly happens between this person and then the person you are on stage? Is it like Superman, you just switch, just
amazing,
and tear it off? Just on the side, I've always wondered.
Yeah, I get you. So I think the calm guy prepares the stage guy for what he's going to do. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times it comes with the energy, you know, of your presentation, right? You know, your convictions, and then you need to paint pictures for the people to understand. People love to see what they hear. So you must be able to give them that feeling, make it true, make it relatable, you know, believable, so to speak. You understand? And so, yeah, that's what I do. I also feed off the energy of the people, all right? The energy also of the content, you know, and yeah.
Because I must tell you, I've listened to your songs and I've lost control. You know, when you lose home training, you forget home training, and when you're dancing.
Yes, sir.
But speak to us. What have you been up to? I know for musicians, gospel artists, you probably don't have as much free time. It's always from an event to the other. You're in the studio, or you're traveling, you're touring. So your schedule is normally full.
Yes.
But what have you been up to in the past, let's say, 1 month now?
All right. Yes, the past 1 month, I've well, before 1 month ago, I was cooking something in my mind. I called it Fuji Rush.
Right.
You know, it's supposed to be like a series, right? So I just released the first part of that series. It's called Fuji Rush, and yeah, it's out there. So I intend to bring the Fujiness to a new culture, you know, a new generation, you know, let them just understand what the Fujiness is about, you know. So basically, that's what I've done, and I hope that the other series would make clearer my intentions.
You know, for me, remembering you, I have to go way back. Back test, they call it in some spaces.
Yes.
Midnight crew.
Yes,
maybe it's an opportunity to you to get. I'm sure you've answered this question.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're bored. Then we will ask again. Since this is your first time on the show.
Yes, sir.
What happened to Midnight Crew?
Time happened. You know, purpose happened. So Midnight Crew was very deliberate group, you know, a deliberate organization. We knew what we wanted to do, we knew the purpose. So we came in, started the work, and we were done with that work in 10 years. So after 10 years of Midnight Crew, we decided to have individual expressions where each has the capacity, you know, to do it, and that's what happened to Midnight Crew.
So it wasn't like there was a disagreement.
Not at all.
There was a fallout. There were altercations.
What we had was an agreement, really.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yes.
Talk to us about, there's a song I'm telling them, let's prep that song. The song, one of your songs I like the most, I don't know when you released it, Ojoro. Talk to us about that particular song.
Yeah. So Ojoro was my way of explaining what grace is to the streets. I'm one for, you know, removing the lines, the invisible lines between the sacred and the streets. So as much as possible, I want to let the street understand what grace is. So the only way I could do it was liken it like a parable, liken it to Ojoro. So that's how you hear me say the blessing where you do Ojoro. Meaning that when God blesses you, it's not because you worked so hard, but because he has favored you, you know. So it's my way of promoting godliness in unlikely places.
So I want us to take a listen to that song for people who may not have heard it.
Yes.
If you've not heard it, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's take a listen to the song. We'll be back with Mike. Sing that song before he leaves here. The vibe, the energy, the nuances, everything's so beautiful and very relatable. Like, you know, my favorite part of that song. I don't want to do it, you do it. You heard me when I said that's my favorite part of the song. But people don't get to understand. We just hear these songs and we feel it, we vibe to it, we enjoy it, we worship with it, whatever it is we want to do with it.
Yes.
But the skill, the musicianship, if you will, permit me to use that word.
True.
The technicality that goes into your kind of music. Walk us through it. It's not, I have a little bit of appreciation for music, and I know that it's not a joke.
True.
Talk to us about it.
Yes, I think basically for me, because I really want to talk to people on the street. I don't want to make it mathematical. I don't want to make music difficult for you. I don't want to start solving the problem. I want to solve the problem for you. So as much as possible, I want to use melodies that you can relate with, you know. So I think for me, I had to study melodies, right? And when the melodies come like that, I do not interfere with the flow, you know, and as much as possible, I make sure that the lyrics sit well in the melody so that when it hits you, that's a word. You accept it before you think about it. You feel it, then you can think later. That's it, right? So that's the intention. So as much as possible, you're thinking of the elements, you know, that will make it a hit. You're thinking, what should the bass be saying? What should the drums be saying? When should the snare keep quiet? And things like that. So we're thinking like that, painting pictures with the sound so that when you release it along with the lyrics, the receivers, the people that hear you, can paint your intention in their heart. Without a video, they can paint the intention already, right? So that way, it's relatable. They can feel it. They can own the song, and that's what makes some songs evergreen.
Fantastic. So from Ojoro, transition to Fuji Rush.
Yes.
It's like this year, you just want to give us back to back to back. But it's always interesting the way you approach music.
Yes, please.
Gospel music. And you've said it. You said you don't want it to be mathematical.
Yes, please.
You don't want the audience to solve any equation. You've solved it, just present it to them.
Yes.
And I want to go all the way back because you're a Fuji gospel artist.
Come on now.
And now this is a question you've had to answer a lot. But the origin of Fuji music itself,
yes,
it goes back to Alhaji Sikiru.
Yes, yes.
And, you know, they say if I name Fuji after the Japanese mountain, Mount Fuji, and then they say Fuji is derived from Were music to Ajisari and all of that. So when you look at the origin of Fuji music itself, it's not gospel in that sense. So how are you able to infuse that? Because some will say, well, the origin is not gospel. How are you gospelizing it and still making it get this kind of impact?
Yes.
So for you, how did that happen and how does it work?
Yeah, it's a mindset thing. I grew up to quickly understand that the people are not made for religion. Religion is made for the people. So the most important is the people. Right. So for the people, regardless of where the music comes from, it becomes their culture. As a matter of fact, when information is to be sent out to people, you send it in form of melodies so that it can be retentive, so that the people it can stay with the people. So it becomes part of a culture that forms them. You'll be losing a lot to start thinking, oh, this is not. It doesn't have gospel origin, so I'm not going to use it. You'll really be losing a lot because already that's the people. It lives with them. They grew up with it. So I think your best bet is to go for the people and speak a language they understand.
So for the Greeks, I became like...
Fuji is a big language. It's a big language. It's a big language. And we just thought that to get our information across to the people, you have to speak their language.
You know, let's join you to speak that language this morning and listen to a snippet of Fuji Rush. So this is not mathematical, okay? This is just Fuji Rush by Mike Abdul. Let's give you a snippet. You can stream it later, but let's share it together. Did you say who goes you? Jeffrey, over to you.
I'm thinking Kwamwan, you're coming for their job. You're retiring them, right? But it's, as we to wind down, beautiful. Look, which is why I asked about the skill level. Your range is impeccable. And this is not like patronizing. It's what I've observed. I don't know whether there's any kind of music you can't do.
Thank you, man.
So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
The expression you put out. But
thank you.
You have to do a line of That's Our Favorite Ojoro song. That will let you go in just a moment.
I think I'm having a new favorite now with this Fuji Rush. But please do Ojoro.
Ojoro is still, Fuji is still new.
Yeah.
This one is still new, so Ojoro has been there.
Them say, the blessing way you do, Ojoro. Them say, salvation way you do, Ojoro. You bless the boy, you give him victory, Ojoro.
Dun, dun.
The girl is fine, oh, fresh and beautiful, Ojoro.
Dun, dun.
This Ojoro, take this Ojoro, take this Ojoro, you do for me. Are you? This Ojoro, you do for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And on that very Ojoro we come to the end of the program. Thank you so much for your time. We hope you enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there and enjoy yourself. I'm Jeffrey Uzama.
Well, obviously, you know we're going to be grooving into the weekend. So you have a lot to choose from. Fuji Rush, Ojoro, and a lot more. Let's make this a weekend of merry. I'm Kayode Okikiolu. Sunrise Daily is next, and we have to thank Mike Abdul for ending the show with us. Such a high. We're your backup.
You know go pay also. Them know us before. You don't matter. Are you married?
Yeah, we're all married.
Heavily married.